Welcome to The Hypnotist, the show that gives you inside access to cutting-edge hypnosis with real clients facing genuine issues. Brought to you by the hypnotherapist demanded by celebrities, CEOs, and even royalty, Adam Cox. These recordings took place live from Adam's clinic in London's world-famous Harley Street. This podcast features powerful hypnosis, so do not listen while driving or operating machinery. This recording is not suitable for those with epilepsy or severe mental health issues. So, get yourself comfortable and enjoy today's episode of The Hypnotist.
Hi, it's Adam here, and in this episode of The Hypnotist, you'll be listening to a weight loss hypnosis session that was created for a male client that was worried about their future health if they didn't lose weight. And for a bit of context here, without breaking any confidentiality, they had a family member, a parent, that had had 3 heart attacks as a result, partly to their lifestyle, including the type of food and quantity of food they were eating. And they knew what impact that had had on their life. The client was a father, and therefore there was a real concern that if they didn't change their relationship with food, then it could lead to an element of a generational cycle, history repeating itself. So what you're going to hear in this hypnosis session is an element of creating a compelling vision in contrast to an undesirable future. And that undesirable future is a future where change doesn't happen and the habits lead to a detrimental and undesirable outcome, potentially something that can't be changed, that can't be reversed. And unfortunately, there are lots of health issues that relate to overeating that when they happen, they can't be undone. So there are certain things that can, for example, like type 2 diabetes, that can be reversed. Let's say excess body fat, obesity can be reversed. You can lose the body fat. But things like a massive heart attack or a stroke, things like that, certain cancers are more likely with increased body fat. These things have sometimes an irreversible impact on an individual. So having that future where these things are not guaranteed, but certainly are more likely for those that are overweight, and then contrasting that with a future where the weight is lost, not by being on a diet, but by having certain eating strategies that keep the blood sugar low, keep the insulin low, and tend to be based around meals. So certainly a way that you could live forever, then leads to a much desirable future. And sometimes seeing your life through the eyes of someone else can be quite powerful. So you're going to hear a suggestion in this session where he sees the undesirable life and the consequences through the eyes of his son. And that's quite powerful as a perspective that can lead to what's called the point of threshold, the point where that thing that you should do, you're now absolutely committed to doing. Because most people already know what to do to lose weight. More knowledge isn't the answer. Getting into that do whatever it takes mentality, where now it may be difficult, it may be challenging, but there's absolute commitment to that outcome, is really the difference that makes the difference. And that's why hypnosis is a very effective way to help with weight loss. Not because it magically makes fat disappear, but it can get people into an emotional state and develop the belief systems where losing weight is actually possible, achievable, and manageable. If you are struggling with weight loss and you think I might be able to help, there will be a link in the show notes to schedule a free consultation call to explore working with me. For now, though, you might find that although this session was created for someone with very specific circumstances, there might be elements of this that are helpful for you in your situation. So find a quiet place where you won't be disturbed, relax, and enjoy the session. Take a deep breath in. As you breathe in a resourceful feeling of relaxation. And as you exhale, just allow your eyelids to relax. With your eyes closed, just focus on the sound of my voice. As you continue to breathe in and breathe out, I want you to position your body in a way where you can really feel relaxed and comfortable. Breathing in a feeling of relaxation, exhaling tension, enabling you to feel deeper and deeper relaxed. That's it. And I want you to use the power of your imagination to think of a time in your life when you were on a beach. But I want you to see that younger version of you on that beach, free of any stresses, any worries. I want you to imagine seeing that younger version of you, maybe lying on a blanket or a towel, maybe on soft white sand. And just imagine seeing that younger version of you looking resourceful, relaxed, calm and confident. Perhaps you could notice what was happening at that time, the blueness of the sky, feeling of the sun on your skin. Maybe look towards the sea and just see the size of the waves, maybe hear them gently breaking on the shore. But I want you to see that younger version of you, looking calm, looking relaxed, breathing slowly. And I want you to mimic their expressions, mimic their body language, breathe at the same rate that they're breathing. See them looking relaxed, maybe lying on the beach, eyes closed. When you're breathing at the same space, same facial expression, same level of relaxation, I want you to imagine stepping into that younger version of you. Feel what it would feel like to be that age, that size, that level of relaxation, and feel how good it would feel to just be completely relaxed there on that beach. And maybe you can hear the people around you on the beach, maybe you can hear the gentle breaking of the waves, or maybe you're listening to music. But I want you to notice how relaxed you feel. In this moment, you don't need food or anything as a way of coping. There isn't anything to cope with. There's just this wonderful feeling of feeling calm, relaxed, and comfortable. I want you to imagine your head starting to feel like a helium balloon, just completely light and weightless. But I want you to imagine the opposite is happening with your arms and your legs. Your head is feeling light and floaty, and your arms are feeling limp, loose, and heavy, enabling you to feel deeper and deeper relaxed. And I'm going to count down from 10 to 1, and with each descending number, I want you to imagine what it would be like to feel 10% deeper and deeper relaxed with each descending number. 10. Eyelids feeling heavier, more relaxed. That's it, letting go of any tension. 9. As you breathe in that resourceful feeling of relaxation, release any tension in your forehead, tiny muscles, responsible for facial expressions like concern or surprise, just release those muscles, enabling you to feel deeper and deeper relaxed. That's it. 8, that relaxation spreading there into your jaw, around your mouth. 7, as you breathe in, just imagine releasing any tension all around your throat, nostrils, windpipe, all the way into your lungs, so you can breathe deeper in and deeper out, releasing any tension. That's it. 6, feeling that relaxation go into your neck and your shoulders. And I want you to imagine any tension in your neck and your shoulders, almost like crystals of ice locked into your muscle tissue. But there on that beach under the sunshine, they're just melting away. Feel that tension melt away. And then 5, feeling that relaxation going into your arms, all the way down to your fingers, limp, loose, heavy. That's it. Feeling more and more confident, more and more comfortable. As you breathe in, just imagine your internal organs are starting to relax. Heart relaxes, lungs relax, stomach relax, gut relax. That's it. All of it feels so relaxed, drifting off into a feeling of relaxation. That relaxation spreading into your gut. Any anxiety just melts away. 3, into your legs, top of your legs all the way down, thighs into your calf muscle, just limp, loose, heavy, feeling deeper and deeper relaxed. Into your ankles, into your toes, limp, loose, heavy, deeper and deeper relaxed. And I want you to imagine what it would be like, as you've done before, to fall asleep there on that beach, to feel so tired that you want to yawn, to feel so relaxed you feel comfortable. And sometimes you've had a 15-minute nap on the beach that felt like you were asleep for hours. And I want you to imagine as 2 becomes 1, just imagine drifting off into a sleep. And in that sleep, it's almost like it's a dream state. And I want you to imagine in your dream, you're floating up from your past into your future. And I want you to see your life as it is now. But we're going to explore 2 different futures. I want you to imagine that you are now floating above your current life. And I want you to follow the next few months and years. If nothing changes, if things stay the way they have been in the past, I want you to imagine observing you with those habits of eating takeaways, snacking on food. See that when you're stressed, you tend to eat. When you're frustrated, you tend to eat. When you're feeling tired or low energy, you tend to eat. And I want you to see a version of you that has made a false assessment, a false evaluation that if you desire food, crave food, feel hungry or want food, you're seeing a version of you that tends to eat food. And I want you to see how that's contributed from your past all the way up to your present. The habits. And habits could be what you put into a trolley or a shopping basket. The apps that you order food on your phone. The shops you tend to go to, the takeaways you tend to order. The quantity of food. The first meal of the day, the last meal of the day. I want you to follow all of this and imagine that nothing changes. Just imagine observing your life like a reality TV show, seeing the amount of food maybe increases, see your body weight increase. And for the first few months, there's no big consequences. You just see yourself looking tired, See yourself with the occasional mood swing. See yourself occasionally irritated, but not much changes. You're just getting heavier and heavier. I want you to go forwards in time until you see a consequence to these habits. Go forward in time, maybe a year, 2 years, maybe more. And at the point where you're observing a serious consequence, perhaps a health consequence, let me know by nodding your head. And whatever health consequence you're observing is just a possibility. This is not a suggestion. This is a future that we can avoid. And maybe it's a heart attack, maybe a stroke. Maybe it's something that impedes your ability to work or earn an income. Maybe it has a ripple effect that because of that, more things are then more likely in the future. Rarely does someone have a major health issue without other health issues following. Maybe you see yourself dealing with reliance on medication. But I want you to observe not so much what's happened to you, but the people that you love, the people that matter to you. What impact has this health consequence had on them? Maybe you're seeing people crying or stressed or concerned. Maybe they have to care for you, help you. But I want you to imagine in this future, this isn't a near miss, this isn't a wake-up call, this isn't a reality check. This is just something you deal with in the days or weeks. And then when things get back to normal, I want you to see yourself going back to eating the same food, the same quantities, the same routines, and then go forward in time until there's something else that happens. And I want you to just observe that, but this time through the eyes of your son. Imagine you're in your son's body, or whatever age he would be at that point in time, and he is observing what's happening to you and all the consequences that follow. Imagine how he would feel. Maybe worried, maybe sad, maybe anxious. Connect to those raw emotions. That the choices that you were making led to this emotional pain. And I want you to keep the perspective being in your son's eyes, as even this thing doesn't create any changes. Imagine looking at your life through your son's eyes as you see yourself, as soon as you can, going back to old habits, old behaviors, always something to blame it on. See yourself trying things and then giving up on those things. And I want you to feel through the eyes of your son how you feel about this person. Do they inspire you? Are they a role model? Do you want to be like this person? Does it give you a sense of respect, admiration? Or is it worry, concern, frustration? And I want you to go forwards in time, still seeing you through the eyes of your son until something irreversible happens. Perhaps something devastating. Maybe the devastating thing is something that leads to the end of your life, or something you can never recover from. Through the eyes of your son, see that thing happening. If it leads to your death in this future scenario, let me know by nodding your head. And I want you to imagine you're no longer in the perspective of your son's body. Just imagine that you're floating up, maybe observing a funeral, seeing who's there. But I want you to imagine, more importantly, you see what happens to the people that mean the most to you when you're not there. What's the financial implications? What's the consequence of a lack of guidance to your son? What moments would you miss out on? Everyone needs help at key times in their life. And I want you to see your son going through a tough time and you're not there to help him. I want you to feel an emotion inside you that is reaching the point of a fierce determination to avoid this future. That enough is enough, this can be avoided. And if it reaches that point where, and maybe you're seeing things like a relationship that your son has, or the grandchildren you would never meet, all these key milestones that you would miss out on, when it reaches the point where enough is enough, and this undesirable future must not happen, let me know by nodding your head. I want you to step into that version of you, put yourself back in that place, rewind it all the way back, and then observe a different future. At your present right now, imagine observing your life through the eyes of a different version of you, and I want you to see that version take control of your life. I want you to see a version of you that understands that you don't need to be on a diet to lose weight. Most of the slim, confident people that exist are not on a diet. They've just figured out a way of eating food they enjoy that keeps their body at a certain weight. And I want you to see that version of you that's figured out there's loads of food that you enjoy, and see yourself immediately from the present moment onwards, not trying to lose weight, but just eating foods that are enjoyable, desirable, but train your body to burn fat. I want you to see that version of you eating good quality food. See yourself eating steak. See yourself eating grilled chicken. See yourself maybe still going to takeaways, but ordering different things at takeaway. Proteins, salads, vegetables. See yourself drinking so much water, good quality water, hydrated. See yourself having a multivitamin every day. And I want you to see very quickly that this version of you seems in control of your life. I want you to see the facial expressions, maybe of your partner or your son. Maybe thinking, here he goes again, only this time it's different. This is the version of you that sticks to something. This is the version of you that, time and time again, treats every day afresh. See yourself eating maybe scrambled eggs for breakfast, maybe mushrooms, tomatoes. See yourself eating that protein-rich breakfast. See yourself having a lunch which is something that's low in carbs. See yourself enjoying the food, but see yourself with the absence of snacks and instead enjoying healthy meals. And to begin with, you don't tell people about it. This is just a thing that you're doing that nobody else needs to know about. But I want you to imagine this doesn't last a few days or a few weeks. I want you to see yourself 3 months still having that steak meals, that grilled chicken, those eggs, fish. See yourself. You've got into a rhythm, got into a habit, and notice that the weight is already starting to lose. And maybe it's 3 months or 4 months, and then you notice that people are looking at you differently, complimenting you, asking what you're doing. And if you can see that version of you taking control of your life, doing what you want in an enjoyable way, you're in that calorie deficit, not because you have to, but because you want to. You want that desirable future. See yourself eating at meals. See yourself not needing to be perfect, just consistent. That day after day you're eating better quality food. You've broken the addiction to that sugar, those carbs, those salty foods. And see yourself eating much more natural foods, more vegetables. Most of the food that you eat is natural, powered by sunshine and rainwater. Things that exist in nature. That maybe 70 or 80% of what you eat, your ancestors could have eaten. And then notice that as the weeks turn into months and the months perhaps turn into a year, as a direct result of that consistent change, see yourself having lost a lot of weight. Maybe see yourself going to work in a suit that fits you really well. See that other people you work with are looking at you differently. Maybe on the weekend, see yourself with more energy to play with your son. See that it's improved your friendships, your relationships. You've got more energy, more confidence, you're smiling more. And then I want you to fast forward. You've seen yourself at that ideal weight, but you didn't get to it and then go back to your old behaviors. The majority of what you eat, maybe 70 or 80%, is still this good quality food eaten at meal times. But I want you to see that you stuck to it. These habits become just how you live. And then I want you to imagine observing your life as those years turn into decades and see that you're growing in confidence. It's helped your career. You've been healthy, more active. See that future version of you with more energy for your son. That you've been a role model to your son. And notice the food he's eating tends to be healthier too. That you are influencing him. And I want you to go forward until you see him. Maybe first day of a new school. Observe those teenage years that when he's going through tough times, he's asking for your help and support, and you're there to give it to him. Maybe see graduation, maybe from high school, maybe from college or university, and you're there to support that proud look on your face. But look how your body shape is. That proud dad seeing your son's achievements. And maybe see your son has a new partner. Maybe years go by and there's a grandchild. And I want you to see a future version of you looking healthy, confident, full of energy and life, playing with a grandchild that in one future you would never see. And if this feels like a compelling, desirable future, let me know by nodding your head. And as you look at that future, acknowledge that there is no diets. Acknowledge that there are no rules, just principles that when you follow them, your body adjusts and adapts and uses body fat as a source of fuel. See yourself, even years from now, your favorite drink is water, and your favorite meal is maybe fish or grilled chicken with vegetables. See that these things just became such a habit that you enjoy life eating that way. And if this becomes a future that you'll do anything to achieve, let me know by nodding your head. And I want you to feel like you're going all the way back in time, all the way back to a point in time where you're lying on a beach. Feel like you're in that body. But I want you to imagine you're getting up from that beach towel, that blanket, wandering around the beach. But I want you to imagine that you have a clear vision for your future. You know what you want, and you know what you're willing to do to make progress. But before we return to reality, I want you to think of two things in your life that were not easy, but were worth it. Maybe it was being a parent. Maybe it was a career. Maybe something else. Things in your life that were difficult, but you did them anyway. And as you think of those things, you realize that something doesn't have to be easy in order for it to be desirable. And I want you to accept the suggestion that you can handle those challenges, you can handle the setbacks. You're willing to do whatever it takes for you and for the people that you love. And when you're willing to accept that when the going gets tough, you will become more resourceful, more determined, let me know by nodding your head. And then imagine floating up from that beach and returning to the present right now, listening to my voice. As you take a deep breath in through your nose and out through your nose, just wiggle your fingers, wiggle your toes, as very soon I will count from 1 to 10 to awaken you, starting to count. 1, 2, 3, waking up. 4, 5, 6, more alert. 7, 8, open your eyes, open your eyes. 9, 10, wide awake, wide awake, wide awake.
Thank you for listening to The Hypnotist with Adam Cox, the show that gives you inside access to cutting-edge hypnosis with real clients facing genuine issues. To automatically receive the latest episodes, please subscribe. If you'd like to support the show, please share this episode with just one friend you think it could help. And if this episode helped you, please leave us a 5-star review.